Hey guys, so today I thought I would do a sort of fall DIY project for you guys, and that's to make these infinity scarves, like the one that I'm wearing right now, out of like old sweaters or old like clothes that you might have. I know personally I fell in love with a bunch of these scarves that I found that were really similar to this at Urban Outfitters, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna pay like $30+ for a scarf that I know I can make myself. And so I thought I would show you guys how I'm making this, because yeah. So I'll just show you what this looks like too. Stretched out. It's really, really big and comfy. And yeah. So I'm gonna make another one with you guys right now. So the first thing that I did was I went to Goodwill and I bought a bunch of old sweaters and stuff because I didn't really have any that I was willing to part with. And that was a really good decision because all the sweaters that I bought were under $6, I think. Most of them were like $3 or $4. So yeah, I'll show this to you real quick. So the first one that I picked up, I saw it and I was like, oh my god. And it's this sort of 80s inspired, like crazy black, like gray and pink monstrosity, and I was like, I have to have this. And like this, I personally don't like the way it looks on me, otherwise I might just wear it as a sweater, but so that's why I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a scarf and it's gonna look amazing. Also, I picked up this shirt at Goodwill and I think it's the prettiest thing, and it was actually part of a separate, so I have a skirt, but the skirt doesn't fit me, but I'm gonna make it into something else and like another DIY, so let me know if you want to see that. But I just think it's the cutest thing. I have it with this like little gray skirt that I bought, and I love this shirt. It's such a pretty pattern, don't you think? I think. So the first thing you're gonna want to do is take your seam ripper, which looks like this, and you're just gonna want to go through and rip all the seams in the sweater. This can take a really long time, so I'm gonna put on an episode of True Blood and get back to you guys. Okay guys, so what I've done so far is I have removed both of these sleeves, as you can see, and I ripped this seam that was on the side here, but I have left this seam on this side, which you can see more if I open it up for you, on the inside. And the reason I left that was because I figured I might end up just re-sewing those pieces back together, so what's the point in ripping the seam, right? So the last thing that I am going to do is rip these seams across the top here. So if I'm wearing it like this, these seams, I'm gonna rip those, and then we'll get started on sort of piecing this thing together, yeah? Okay, seam ripping done, and so now this monstrosity is what I am left with. The next thing that I'm gonna do is take this whole thing and kind of fold it in half like so and pin it. So as you can see, I have it kind of like doubled up, and this is like, this whole section is like what was the bottom part of the sweater, and then on the other side, folded over, we have what was the neck right here, and the back of the neck. And so as you can see, I've kind of folded them so that the neck parts will be cut off, yeah. So now that it is efficiently folded in half, what we're just gonna do is cut along this folded over part, right along the whole thing, so we're like cutting the whole thing in half. And I just want to note, you should be like really careful, because depending on the fabric that you're using, it might unravel really, really easily. This one probably will. That's why I'm like gonna finish the whole thing tonight. Snippy, snippy, snippy. Bingo. Now I'm just gonna undo those pins that I had put in, and we'll have two separate pieces of fabric. Actually, we'll have three. As you can see, we have 3 pieces. One which is this really long piece that used to be the bottom of the sweater, like this. That was the bottom. And then we have another piece that used to be the front, and a piece that used to be the back. So now what we're gonna do is pin all of those pieces together so that they make one long stripe lengthwise. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I'm pinning it really fast. So I have this one big piece and I'm pinning it to one of these smaller pieces, and all I'm gonna do is I've made it so that the right side of the fabric, which is the pretty side, are facing in on both pieces, right? So that when they're together like this, it's the bad side on both ones. And then I've lined up the top edges, making sure that the neckline is sticking out like so. And I'm just going to pin those down really, really quick. I'm just sticking my pins in every couple of inches, like so. Now that I have all my pins all nicely lined up, you guys see how I have this hunk sticking out that's of this piece that's longer than this piece? What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my edges over here, and then I'm going to trim that piece with my scissors, like so. And now you can see that these two pieces lie flush with each other, which is exactly what we want. Now I'm going to pin the next piece on and do the exact same thing where I trim it up. Okay, so now I have one long giant strip of fabric, and you got it. I am just going to take my two ends of it, you know, put the right side down, make sure it's not twisted up at all back here, and I am just gonna pin these two together like I have with all the other pieces. So coming over to my sewing machine, I've loaded it with some black thread, and I'm gonna come over here and turn the dial to the zigzag type stitch, because that is gonna give me the widest stitch, the strongest stitch, and also it will definitely help the fabric to not fray. Okay. So I'm over here, I've got my fabric, and I'm just going to take one of the edges that I have pinned and load it into my machine and push down the presser foot. Okay, and I'm just going to sew a stitch right along the edge. I'm going to try to keep the edge of the fabric right up against the side of my presser foot here, because I don't want a big chunky piece of fabric sticking out on the edge of my thing. If you decide that you want to do this without a sewing machine, or you don't have a sewing machine, you definitely can, just hand stitching. It's going to take a really long time, and you're going to have to be really careful to make sure that those edges don't fray. Okay, now we have a giant loop of fabric. We're getting so close to being done. I'm gonna go and change this back to the like single line stitching, I don't know what that's called, thing. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our fabric. You see how we have this like big chunky seam? We don't want that. So what we're gonna do is just flip it like this, and then we're going to sew a straight line right down there so that lies nice and flat and it's not obvious when we're wearing the sweater that's got these big seams in it. So I've just done that, and let me show you, that is what that looks like now, and it's I don't know if you can really tell, but it's much like flatter and less raised looking, so that'll be great. And now the last thing that we have to do is go around the edges of our scarf and sew down a little hem, and we're just gonna go and use the zigzag feature again on the sewing machine to do that. And yeah. Hey, so I just finished up doing the hem, and let me show you what that looks like. There you go, nice and neat. And because my fabric was kind of stretchy, it made sort of a like loopy curly edge, but I actually really like the way that that looks, so if that works for you, then good. And now I will let you guys see the finished product. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Can I just say, this is so cute. I think I actually like it a lot more than the first one that I had on at the beginning of the video, because it's like longer and bigger, and I think if I wanted to, I could do it a like third time around for when it's like super cold outside. Oh my god. What do you guys think? I think I love. Like, I was thinking about putting this on my Etsy store, and now I'm thinking, this is gonna be mine forever. And personally, I think that the offside adds like a nice dimensional layer and doesn't look like weird. So I think that's just something that you're gonna have to try to if you're going to buy sweaters, look at the offside, and if it looks really crazy and messed up, maybe don't pick that sweater to use. Because, or unless there's a lot of it and you can do two sides and sew them together so you don't even see the offside. I am so loving this. It turned out so much better than I expected, guys. Seriously, I was kind of worried it was gonna suck and then I was gonna have to scrap this whole video. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you try this out, please take pictures and send them to me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. There are links for all of those things in the description. And yeah, I would just love to see the finished product if you guys do ever do this. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also hit subscribe for more videos from me. I do lots of DIY stuff and also cooking and just random makeup stuff sometimes, fashion stuff sometimes. It's a blast. It's a party. I will see you guys later this week for another video. Bye! I sometimes find it really hard to find good horror movies to watch, and so in honor of this time, and to sort of help you guys out with your search if you're in the same position as me, I've decided to share with you today my top 10 horror films. So stick around if you want to see what those are.